Hello and welcome to a new episode from The Underdogs. I'm back after a few weeks with the flu, and today I have a new episode about the hunting dog. What a topic, right? Some time ago, I came across a post discussing that service dogs should not be touched. What is a service dog? A companion dog for people with mental or physical disabilities, ranging from blindness to post traumatic stress disorder. Many of these dogs are already extremely stressed by everyday life. They must look after their person, their environment, and potential dangers. When such a dog is out with its person, the dog is on duty, working, and highly focused. And then people come along who feel they must touch the dog. Because the dog is so cute and sweet, and humans' own desire is far more important than the needs of the dog and its owner. Under this post, there was an argument between dog owners who supported the idea that dogs should not be touched and dog lovers who believed they had the right to touch any dog. I couldn't resist leaving a comment. The dog is a predator. And if the dog has had enough because it's overwhelmed or feels the need to protect its person, it could bite. This sparked another discussion because people didn't want to accept that our dog is a predator, and that surprised me. What is that? Denial, ignorance. For over 40,000 years, humans have been hunting alongside wolves and their domesticated descendants, the dogs. Why? Because they can. Because they are the most and best hunting team of all time. Each of them is already a great hunter on their own, but together they hunt even better. The dog-human team has prevailed evolutionarily. If it hadn't been such a success story, we wouldn't be sitting together today. So the hunting dog was our companion for millennia, and we owe them a lot. Dogs are bred to hunt. They hunt in water and on land, in deserts, jungles, and mountains. They hunt rats and mice, lions and bears, so that we have food to eat or for our protection. During industrialization, small dogs like terriers freed the rapidly growing and often impoverished workers' districts from rats. There's a hunter in every dog, so there's a predator in every dog. When I see dog food advertisement, they often boast about extra meat. Dogs are carnivores because they descend from wolves. Dogs should have fasting days because they come from wolves, and wolves don't have food every day either. Well, we descend from apes, and they didn't have 3 hot meals a day, drive-ins, or frozen pizzas, but whatever. And when, after 40,000 years of domestication, I hold a pug next to a wolf, I also wonder where the family resemblance is, aside from the DNA. A pug wouldn't even be able to catch mice, even if it wanted to, unless the mouse surrendered voluntarily. The dog became the so-called house pet that we've tamed, and now it sits on the sofa or often sleeps in the bed with us. It's fed raw chicken breast or even vegan. In the end, the dog, alongside humans, has become an omnivore. But we still feel connected to the wolf. The of this wild animal lives on in every dog, even in a pug. We have a little wolf sitting next to us on the sofa, and somehow the thought feeds our ego, the idea of controlling such an impressive animal. Once we were eaten by wolves, and now we watch Netflix with their descendants. But when this wolf imitation starts behaving like a real wolf, the fun quickly ends. Fawn are flushed out, chased, and killed. Cats are hunted and shredded. A husky kills a chihuahua. A duck and a rabbit are massacred. Sheep are attacked, and cows and calves are no longer safe. And we are deeply affected. Luckily, it's just considered property damage. My dog has never done that. I don't know him like that. The duck must have provoked him. When we bring a dog into our home, we are getting a hunter delivered right to our door. regardless of breed, regardless of how sweet, how cute, or how old. Once I was called to a family that had a Bosseron puppy and wanted to give an old shelter dog a home. They chose a 10-year-old hunting dog, an Anglo-French hound. This dog has served as a hunting dog in a pack for 7 years and was then given to a shelter. There he lived quietly with other dogs in a kennel, completely unremarkable. Now this poor soul had a home, a big house with a garden, people, and a little playmate. Then the older dog began attacking the puppy. The people were helpless and overwhelmed. This dog had never been aggressive or noticeably in the shelter. Well, of course not. This dog had spent his entire life with a pack in a kennel and only went out when it was time to hunt. For 7 years, this dog either hunted or sat in the kennel. Living with other dogs in a kennel was completely normal for him. But when he went out, he hunted. And now, unfortunately, he did that again. He was simply overwhelmed by freedom after 10 years. He didn't even recognize the puppy as such, not as a fellow dog or as a needing puppy protection. Kennel or hunt, that's all the dog knew. The people decided to give the dog back. Yes, they could have helped the dog if they had wanted to, but that would have required a lot of time, patience, and organization. The dog was not to blame. It was in his nature, and he didn't know any better. No one had ever cared to show him another life. Is every hunting dog a cold-blooded hunter? No, it really depends on how they are raised. Good training and impulse control are important. They are very well trained hunting dogs who can walk through the forest off leash and stay calm. It's like with any dog. Dogs are hunters, and every dog has a trigger. Usually it's movement. The hunting dog hunts, the herding dog herds. And there, it's the responsibility of each owner to control their dog as best as possible to prevent harm and accidents. The excuse that the dog is just like that because it's in his nature doesn't count. Every dog can be trained, and if not, then there are those long, thin things called leashes. They work wonders with the dogs that are eager to hunt. So, what can you do if your dog loves to hunt, regardless of breed? First, for safety's sake, keep the dog on a leash for now. Then, work on basic training, like recall and having the dog to sit. Also, don't be glued to your phone, but keep an eye on your surroundings. Explore the area together with your dog. Ideally, you should spot potential triggers before your dog does. It's much easier to call your dog back this way. If your dog picks up the scent of game first, it's usually already too late. Adrenaline is always faster and stronger than you or me. A very important exercise is teaching your dog to lie down, called down. I knew it from herding dog training to relieve pressure. For hunting dog, it's very effective. They don't have to stop, rethink, and come back, which goes against their impulse. Instead, they can keep their focus on the prey ahead. But they should stop and lie down, with their head between their front paws. This interrupts the hunt, and ideally, the dog loses sight of the game. The prey gains a critical head start and can escape. The dog can bring its energy level down. The hunting instinct is not equally strong in every dog. Not every purebred dog is ideal representative of its breed. There are dogs that show no interest in deer or sheep, or are simply afraid of gunshots. A hunt always means stress for everyone involved. Not every hunting dog is up to that. At the same time, your completely peacefully poodle might suddenly turn into a rabbit killer. As mentioned, there is no dog that has absolutely no hunting instinct, and this instinct is usually triggered by specific stimuli. Most of the time, it's movement. Those who have both dogs and cats may be familiar with this phenomenon. There are dog-cat pairs that cuddle peacefully together in the basket. Outside, however, they seem not to recognize each other anymore, and the chase begins. Dogs don't see very well. They mainly perceive movement. What runs away is usually potential prey. This is an old predator wisdom. In fact, animals that take this into account and stay completely still sometimes have better chances because the dog no longer notices them. What's most important is to know your dog very well and to find out early the dog reacts to this or that stimulus in order to redirect him accordingly. Then it will also work with the rabbit. And however, touching strange dogs is and will always be a no-go. Thank you for listening.